Welcome. Welcome back again, guys. It is nice to see y'all again. Welcome to We the Panel, a Terrace House Podcast. A podcast where we talk about Terrace House, specifically the very first series, Boys and Girls Next Door. Usually I'm up in more energy type of introduction, but I feel like today's episode, guys, was quite an emotionally draining one. And I guess we have here the rest of the panel for me to introduce with our loved possessions, I guess, to keep us comfortable through this tough but yet amazing episode 36 of Terrace House. But before we continue, I'd like to introduce the rest of the panel. And first, we have the one, the only Tim, everyone's favorite Tim. Tim, how are you doing? And who's that guy that you're holding on your shoulder like a parrot?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Mm-hmm. I'm Tim. This is Mr. Bagel. Oh, he's a Shiba. He's great. He's round. Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
As you can see, folks, this episode has really drained us out of our feelings. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you too. Okay.
I love it. And of course, we have our resident TikToker. Hey there, Cheska. And who's that little cute dude?
Hi.
That you're cuddling with right now?
I have a squishmallow. He's huge. His name is Drew.
Hello, Drew. Nice to see you.
He's waving hi.
Oh, cute. Cute. All right.
Got him for Christmas. So now I just, pillows and stuffed animals. Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that vibe. And of course, now that I realize, last but not least, we got James holding his prized shoe. Hey, James. What's that story about?
Hello. Yeah, it's so this is my shoe, Air Force One.
Oh.
Let the record show that it's not an Air Force One.
For audio users, he's literally holding his shoe by his face.
Man, it's not my fault that
a clean white and black
that I don't have my stuffed animal here. Okay, so this is the closest thing I could get within arm's length. So yeah, this is what I have today. But in terms of the episode, very excited to talk about that because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh yes. Well, I think James is sponsored by Adidas too as well. This hat.
With his he's trying to get us as sponsors.
Yeah.
Imagine.
He's already got the sponsor. I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah, let's begin this. But before we begin, let's find out how can people find us with We the Panel Podcast, guys?
We the Panel Podcast can be found on all podcasting platforms. That's Google Podcasts, that's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify. And you can also check out our anchor.fm. That's we-the-panel. If you're seeing a brown background with the gray house, that's us.
Hey, let's go. All right, let's talk about episode 36, The Night of Confession. Take us away, James.
Yeah, so the episode starts out as it always does with you and the rest of the panel talking about what happened last episode. So what happened? OG finally answered Aya. We saw Miwako telling Hana that she likes Daiki, and she asked him out to eat. It looks like I'm using this shoe as a mic. I'm just gonna no. I'm committing. But yeah, yes. So that happened. And this episode actually does start with the little, I don't want to call it a date because it definitely was not a date. The little outing between Miwako and Daiki. They go to this Indian place where Daiki's the only one eating. And yeah, they kind of have some conversation about what Daiki does on his days off, into which Daiki says he doesn't do anything. And he also talked about how he has a preference of like spontaneously meeting up to hang out. So yeah, just like off of that. And there are some things that I would love for you guys to talk about, like Daiki's, just the entire vibe of Daiki during that date. Like, how'd you guys feel about that?
He wasn't putting on the schmoves. You could clearly tell. Like, that was not Daiki that we saw when he went out with Hana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like, this drink is so great. You want to try? He's like, I got a cold. And like, just shut it down immediately. Like, I don't know. It's like he wasn't. I don't want to say he wasn't entertaining her, but it was like he was being aloof. He was being aloof and like, yeah. I don't want to say distant because he wasn't, but like, it's not the Daiki we'd see if it was an actual date. This is just an impromptu excursion between friends, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It felt different. It felt kind of awkward, which is
A little
weird
bit.
because I feel like you can't have an awkward moment with Daiki because he just
True.
seems so kind of like outgoing and like he can make you laugh and stuff like that and keep you entertained. But yeah, we didn't really get that much for this, so it was interesting. It was a very interesting scene.
Do you
But-
think? Sorry. Do you
No.
think because of that distant feeling, Miyako will feel a little bit more awkward, or like, do you think it's gonna hurt the chances of Miyako trying to get more closer with Daiki? Because or did it attract her more to Daiki, or it's just like, what is this? You know, because like I don't know. I'm trying to think about like Tim. You're right. It was a bit Okay, you don't want to say distant, but I'm gonna say it's distant
Okay.
because
Okay, that's fair.
yeah, even as friends, I feel like he would talk a lot more. But it was just like maybe Daiki was just tired from work and he just wanted to eat, and he
go
was given the
home.
circumstances that Miwako was waiting. Right, I was like, oh, I don't know if they were talking prior or if they like planned this after, but
It
How
seemed
would
like
you
they
act?
didn't.
right, yeah, it was very
It didn't seem
spontaneous, right?
planned. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He
like,
came down the stairs. He's like, "Oh, you're still here."
mhm.
Like, what would have happened if he went out the back door?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I was like,
That's
when
a
he
big
said,
thing.
yeah, I kind of like spontaneous things. Like, isn't this spontaneous? You seem pretty boring at it.
Well, I feel like he had a feeling that Miwako likes him. So that's when he started to act like, I guess distant. Like, he didn't even act like a friend, in my opinion. It didn't give a friendship vibe.
Yeah. That was a thing. Like, he was not giving anything to like lead her on or show her. Like, yeah, he didn't even act like a friend, so to speak. Like, no warm vibes at all.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of that, I guess we could just transition into the next scene because
Yeah.
we get back to the house where Daiki comes home to the boys' room and he tells Taechan that him and Miwako went out to eat. And Taechan gives this answer saying that, he's not worried about Daiki and Miwako at all.
I'm not petty.
Okay.
Don't
And
worry.
yeah, he's not petty, unlike some people. But yeah, once Daiki does leave to change, there is a shot of Taechan who is like, okay, so Taechan said that he was gonna go to sleep. So Daiki's like, okay, I'm gonna go change. But then it cuts to Taechan in bed like this, and then his eyes just open because he's not sleeping. And the question is like, maybe he can't sleep. Is it because of Daiki? We don't know. And we do get a little like panel spot a little later in the episode, but they talk about what happens here, and they talk about how Daiki might notice Miwako's feelings towards him. I know we have more to say about that later, but that's just what they said. But they thought that Daiki was kind of being cold and unfriendly towards her the entire time as a duty to Taechan. Right? So yeah, as when I heard that, I agreed with it completely. I was like, there's no way that Daiki's gonna try to do Taechan dirty like that, especially because of like the bromance that they have between each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it all changes when Daiki gets feelings for the same girl as Taechan, because we saw it before with Hana, right? And then Taechan backed off, right? And now, like, it's a whole different situation where like Daiki literally, like, we'll say, like, we're gonna talk about it later, but he does reveal that he has no feelings towards Miwako. So like this whole situation is different. I feel like if Daiki had feelings towards Miwako, then that would have been a whole different issue. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's no passion, I guess, for Daiki, like for Miwako, or there isn't any yet. But yeah, Daiki seems the type to be like, oh, if I want someone or I want something, I will go and actively like try to get it, right? Like what happened with Hana. Like he was indecisive because he had two options, but then he's like, no, I want one, and then so he went for it. Right? I don't know.
Jay?
Also, I guess going back to what Jay said previously about the last scene, about Daiki being distant, like and how that would work out for Miwako, whether or not that would make her like pursue him. She's not going to make the first move. If anyone's going to make the first move, it's gonna have to be the guy. In my opinion of like how Miwako shows herself is that she's not the type to make the first move.
Oh.
Hana seems like that type. Maybe no, actually no. I take that back. Hana's the only one probably in the house, like the only woman in the
Aya
house.
has done it. Aya has done it.
What would you consider first move? Because technically, didn't she already make a first move? Like she just says she's interested in Daiki. There's like we can't assume that she's like fully liking him, even though the show's like trying to say like, oh, the girl's like head over heels Daiki. I think it's just more she's interested in him, right? Wouldn't she make that move already by waiting to do that for him after work? Or like, are you trying to say like a move
where like you're actually sticking your neck out? Because her waiting and going for food hints at something, but also at the same time can roll it off as, oh, we were just going as friends, right? There's a point where you make a move where there's a like, you know, you stick your neck out and it can get cut off, right? Where like, you know, the point of no return of just putting it all cards on the table. And I don't see Miwako making that move.
Okay, then I'll say she already did, and we'll talk about it after.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. We once again we will get to that. But
let's move on to the next scene because we just gotta talk about it. Then this is basically the Miwako Daiki Taechan love triangle.
Whiteboard. Okay. I'm joking.
No more whiteboard.
Yeah, I'm joking. I was joking.
We've done it already. We've been there. We've done that.
Yeah.
We'll move on to what we thought was probably like the main plot point happening at the moment, and that of course is between OG and Aya.
Oh jeez.
So we do see that like OG, after looking for Aya in the girls' room, goes down to like the theater room to talk to Aya, and I don't know, the vibes were just off, you know, like it was the music, it was the awkwardness, it was just completely off. But eventually, OG does tell Aya that he is thinking of leaving Terrace House. And the reasoning for that was because he thought that it was strange for them to kind of live together after what happened. Mm-hmm. But he did say that he's not leaving immediately, and he would still like to have like the chance to go out with her still, which was like, what? Crazy. But we do move on to the living room where Daiki and Miwako are hanging out, and then Aya shows up and they immediately talk about OG. And Aya tells them that OG wants to leave the house. And they were all like, wait, why is this guy leaving? And they were all confused because OG said that he still wants to hang out with Aya. And Miwako is like, yeah, like maybe this guy is only really acting for himself. Like he's only doing this stuff for his own desires. He's not really thinking about like Aya and everything that's happened in the situation. And yeah, it was just like, oh man, like what do you guys think about like OG leaving, but then not like, there's just so many questions. Like, I have a lot of questions for you guys specifically towards this that I'm going to save for the end. But the one that I do want to ask you guys is like, how do you feel about this guy that's done everything and still wanting to hang out with her before he leaves?
Tim, what do you think? I know you're
Tim.
not about OG right now. He's more like a no G.
Just leave.
Oh no.
Just leave.
Hey.
Just leave.
Just leave. Just leave. Like, what a selfish thing to request. Like, excuse me?
Yeah, tell us. Yeah.
The way he laid.
Oh, he fuming. He fuming.
Goes into the girl's room and then like, just like, where's Aya? And I was like, what's it to you? No, you're not going to talk to her. Like, if I was Mila, I'm like, no. I feel like it was Hana in there. Oh my God. Like, if Hana was like the only one in there or with Miwako, then she would have been like, why? Why are you looking for her, huh? Like, leave the girl alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you already came in, you messed things up. Like, she's obviously like I don't know what time is between last week and this week, but probably still not over it and working on herself. Like leave her alone. Like, and then the way he walks into the room and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry to make you think so much. Sorry to giving you more to think about, blah blah. But like, yeah, like I'm gonna be leaving. Oh, your window's closing. Better take what you can get. Like, shut the front door. Like,
he does say like, oh, I didn't write it down, but I do remember that he does say something like, I know, like, after spending so much time together before, like, of course, like, you do want to hang out with them still, but that would probably be me leading you on again, right? Like, he says that, and I'm like, oh, wow.
It
okay.
sounds like he's guilt tripping her, and that's what makes me pissed off. Like, why are you guilting her when you literally rejected her the week before?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I feel like he's just trying to manipulate her and pull strings and be like, oh yeah, like we already spent so much time together. It would be a shame if that went to waste. And I'm leaving. Oh, there's also a timetable on here, like a time constraint where like I'll be gone and all the progress we made is gone and blah blah blah. Like, it makes me think that there was a lot more than just platonic cuddling in a bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
he's clearly getting something out of this where
I mean, you're right, Tim. If someone rejects the other person, leave them alone. Like, OG should have left it alone, shouldn't have done anything. But he did that, and now he's like guilt tripping her to the point where it seems like it is manipulation, which is a no in all of our books. Well, in my book, at least.
he seems like such a sweet guy coming to the house, and now he's bothering me, and he seems like a creep to me. He's like that weird, like drunk dude that tries to like park himself behind you when a girl's just trying to dance at the club. That's the feeling I like when I look at him.
Not like, gonna lie, I get that vibe too.
Like, I will like get a like he's 6'2", 6'3". I will get a stool planted down just to like, I'm tired of his shit. Sorry, I don't mean to get aggressive, but yeah.
And I'm the curse word of the day.
Yeah, first curse word of. I'm just tired of his crap. Like,
wow. But he's gonna be here for a while, man. He's not leaving for a while.
Our predictions are still intact, Tim. So
2 episodes.
I'm saying 10.
2 episodes and Daiki punches him out. Please.
Oh.
Wow. It's so interesting you guys seeing it like a manipulative tool. I thought it was just him just like saving his face for the show. So it's like the worst way of him trying to give closure to this. Cause it's just like, yeah, he's like a bad dude right now. And maybe he did say he sees it as a sibling thing, so maybe he still does care for her in that sense. So like he does understand that she's hurt. So I think this is his only way of trying to think of him trying to make himself look good, but comforting her. But it's like not the best way.
Yeah, like I see where you're going at. Like, I feel like he is trying to save face, but it comes off as a sense of manipulation and guilt tripping.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. And it's like, in a sense, a kind of pity for him because it's like, I don't think he has any other connections with other people, like close to Aya, right? Like, he was telling the truth. He never had like a closer connection with anyone in the house. And maybe this is his way of talking to closer friends like that. And he lost that connection, but because with the price, because in the end, Kyle was leading her on.
Yeah.
Good luck, OG.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard because after everything that's happened, and then the way that the last thing with OG and Aya happened, like the way that he said that like he didn't like her, and like everything that happened like last episode basically, like, and after Hana talked to him, wouldn't it have been better for him to just apologize to her? Because that's something that he's never done ever since. James. So if if he did that, it would have saved face for him. Mm-hmm. And actually, it would have saved face for him. And that's why, like, it's just so confusing to me as to why that entire scene happened. And it happened the way that it did. Because I'm just like, what is this guy thinking of? Like, I just don't understand, like, what type of moves is he making? Like, these are not big brain moves. These are just like, I don't know.
That's a great point, James. And if that's the case, he never really apologized, then he doesn't think that whatever he did was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So if that case, all his actions at this point is just to make himself feel better that what he did to Aya. Oh, that's rough, man. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't have the balls to apologize at least.
Well, it's not just apology. Like, he should have apologized first and then have the actions to prove that he is changing, and like he wouldn't do that to Aya or to anyone ever again. But one, he didn't apologize. Two, he's not changing his ways. So like, that's where like I kind of understand why Tim is so pissed off at OG. So yeah.
Yeah. Fans need to leave.
Just leave.
It's not looking good.
Just
leave. It's not looking good for him.
I wonder. Oh, sorry, James. But
no,
like,
go ahead.
They do get fan messages. They do, like, their socials do get blown up as soon as they hit the house. I want to see the type of backlash that OG gets. Like, you know, some sort of evidence of that would be great.
Yeah. It was probably not great. I could tell you that much as someone that's on the Terrace House Reddit. He's not regarded in the best way on that Reddit page. But we digress. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
you know, he's still in the house.
Yeah,
for who knows how long. So we'll just move on to bigger and better things, I guess. But speaking of moving on, we go to the next morning. Where Tae-chan, in all of his glory, makes breakfast for Miwako. Miwako and Miwako alone.
And himself.
Of course, yeah, sorry. So yeah, and then he calls her and tells her that he made her breakfast. And it was really, I thought that this was really funny because he specifically says, like, Miwako, I made you breakfast. And up comes Miwako, but then up comes Hana as well. And yeah, and Hana notices that's like, oh, okay, only 2 bowls. And so Tae-chan and Miwako are eating, Hana's sitting there. And while they're eating, Tae-chan basically just tells Hana to leave. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, don't you got something to do? Yeah. Doodle, please.
Dude.
How manly of him.
And after Hana leaves, they kind of talk a little bit about what she's doing. And I don't know, from when I was watching it, like, Tae-chan is still awkward. Like, I can tell, I feel like you guys could tell. And so then Miwako actually goes back to the girls' room and she tells Hana about everything that happened. And Miwako's like, yeah, like, Tae-chan was acting weird. He was acting stiff. And I don't know, like there are a lot of things that he was doing that was different. Like he called her by her actual name, which he doesn't do. And I don't know, they said that like he's trying to be a man. He's working on it, basically. That's what happened. But I don't know if you guys have anything to say about it, but this is really just leading on to the next scene. But before I get to it, are there any comments about that? About Taechan, how he was acting, I guess?
Taechan lost points in the race to Miwako that day. How so? Well, play by play. All right, so we see two people come into the kitchen. That's Hana and Miwako coming in, Taechan cooking, and boom, Taechan makes a meal for two, and I guess it was yakisoba. And based on what the panelists said, yakisoba is not a thing to eat at breakfast, so that's already at fault. Next thing, that's his first strike. Second strike, calls her Miwako instead of Michan. And when a failed attempt of another outing of a date turns into shambles or gets turned down, it goes back to Michan instead of Miwako. And Miwako, of course, sees that as that's kind of awkward. I don't like that. So it's a strike too. And this was because, guys, in retaliation of what he said was he was not petty about what happened between Miwako and Daiki the other day, but really, this was the reason why he made breakfast for Miwako. Come on. Strike three, and it didn't work out. Back to you.
Oh my God.
Back to you, Tom. Here we go.
Okay, so this whole yakisoba at breakfast thing made me feel very
attacked.
Isolated. Yeah, I felt attacked.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I ate yakisoba for breakfast. What's the problem with that?
It's delicious. Leftover food for yes.
And like, I mean, as a Filipino, I eat pancit as like for breakfast. That's a noodle
Yo,
dish.
that's different. That's different. Pancit and yakisoba, I feel like they're kind of different.
Yeah,
or at
they
least
are different.
The way that I, like, back when I was like living at school and making yakisoba for lunch, compared to like getting the pancit that my parents made for me before I'd leave or something like that, like I feel like it's different. Like I personally wouldn't have yakisoba for breakfast either, but it might just be a cultural thing, you know, them being in Japan. Maybe that's just not a thing that happens.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, I actually ate yakisoba for breakfast, like I think for 2 months. Because that's all. I mean, one, that's all I had. Two, it's good for breakfast. Like I thought it was really
well. If you gotta find the humor in this, Cheska. Has anyone made breakfast for you about yakisoba for a person that you think that they liked you, but you didn't have clear feelings for them on the other way? That's what makes this hilarious. So someone that had interest in you made you breakfast that was unconventional of breakfast.
That's true. Okay.
That's what made the whole scenario hilarious.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's what the panelists. It's not the fact that it's yakisoba. It's just everything that happened. He said he wasn't petty, but this was because of his pettiness. And I don't know if we talked about it, but one of the panelists says, like, or I think Teacher said it. This always happens to me.
Poor guy. Sad.
That's later. That's later. That's later.
Oh, sorry. Well, I spoiled it, but my guy, it was rough and it was great. I loved it. I hope he makes more yakisoba stuff like this.
Yeah. Well,
out of all the things he could have cooked, he chose yakisoba for breakfast.
Made her cereal.
Cereal.
Yeah. Japan has a lot of egg dishes, a lot of really good like egg dishes that would have been great for breakfast.
Bro, honestly, I was thinking like a soup. A soup in the morning could be good.
Yeah, she's into soup. Oh, Daiki, you eat soup too?
And then I think for Taechan, like he probably watched that episode, right? So he's like, I don't want to make her soup or think of anything regarding Daiki.
Oh man. Yeah. But speaking of Daiki and Miwako and Taechan and the triangle that's happening there, move on to this really great scene where Taechan, Daiki, Miwako Aya, and I think OG sitting in the back.
OG was there.
Yeah.
He
was.
line.
Yeah.
He had a sly smile in that scene from what I noticed.
They were in the theater room doing what we've been asking them to do for like the past few weeks.
Yes.
Of watching episodes of
an
Terrace House
Inception
together.
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
They watched the 33rd week.
So meta.
Tae-chan points out that Daiki's butt is on the screen.
Yeah, it is.
It's the camping trip, and it was a funny time. You know, it was a great time. But then we move on to the scene of Miyako. The mention of her love life when she was with like her friend or something.
Yep.
And she asked like, how are things romantically? And as soon as that happens, Miyako dips. She's out of there. She leaves the theater room, goes straight to her room. And why did that happen? Well, it's because the scene that comes up is where Miwako says that she doesn't like Tae-chan, but she's interested in Daiki.
Spicy. It's so spicy.
And as that happens, it cuts to Aya going back to the girls' room where she sees Miwako, and she says that she saw that Tae-chan was interested, but also now they know that Miwako's feelings were basically just confessed. And it cuts back to the theater room where the girls are gone. It's just the guys, and OG even leaves, and it's just our two boys, you know, Tae-chan and Daiki. And Tae-chan asks Daiki how he feels about Miwako, and Daiki straight up says, like, I didn't notice until now. And Tae-chan's like, oh man, you're lying. But Daiki says that because Tae-chan likes Miwako, he won't see Miwako in that way at all. And Tae-chan, that's where the big line comes, where Tae-chan lies down and goes, oh, it's always like this for me.
So sad.
And it's true. It's true. It really is. It really is. And
I hate to see it.
yeah, so then they talk a little bit more, and Tae-chan basically says like, okay, I know that all happened, but I'm still gonna try my best. And this part was hilarious because it cuts to the panel, and the panel's like, try your best in what? She doesn't like you, bro. The panel thinks that there's no point in Tae-chan trying his best because Miwako says, she straight up says that she likes Daiki. But okay.
I mean, okay.
Comments because a lot of things happened.
The panel, true, but at the same time, damn, they were roasting Tae-chan. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
What else?
Put him
It's been a while. It's been a while since the whole panel roasted the guy. I loved it. Actually, it was great.
I just felt bad for Tae-chan. Like, you know, he like was like very disappointed, and like you could tell from the face when literally the second that Miwako said Daiki, like you saw his face go down. So you just like feel bad for him, and then like literally 2-3 minutes later, you just see the panel roasting Tae-chan.
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't get over OG like smiling at the back while like the whole Miwako confession was happening. I was like, damn. Like, I think everyone is roasting Tae-chan except for Daiki.
Yeah.
Classic OG, guys. He does this all the time. He announces. It's crazy because it's like he announces the obviousness of the room, so he can read that, but he can't read it when it comes to his fault. Like, when he's the awkwardness of it, you know? That was great. I loved it, man. Do you see how like Daiki's was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think he's lying that he said he didn't notice. I feel like he did.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did. Well, yeah, technically, right? He kind of got this feeling when Miwako waited for him after. It was like,
oh, so that's when he noticed?
Well, that's what the panel said.
Oh.
Yeah. So the panel were just assuming that it's like, oh yeah, like he probably can tell, and that's why he was being so cold to her, because you know he was doing Tae-chan a service. But in this scene, man, like Daiki's face was priceless. Like
just like smiling.
You see Tae-chan, he's looking up at the screen, he's like, But then you see Daiki, he's like, oh shoot.
It's like, oh shit, I still got it. Like,
really? I was just like, what? I thought it was just him being like, oh.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I thought it was just like,
I still got it, but like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah, no.
That's what I think. That's what I
It was
think.
like, oh snap. Yeah. Okay.
It was like it was like so this is awkward, but he laughs it off kind of thing.
That's his way, right?
Yeah.
I like it. It was good. A very genuine reaction.
I also thought it was just like that was such a perfect panel moment. Like this is what the panel is here for. Like they give like their little bit of things to say, but then they're also just like, it's a bunch of comedians in there. Like they're just giving us the comedy. They're roasting the heck out of Taechan. Like I loved it. It was so good.
This poor Taechan can never get a break from his love life. There's always drama.
It's true.
But he needs to stay forever. He's so good. Imagine anyone else in the show. No one else is going to do this. You kidding me?
Hey, I mean, our predictions are still there, and we won't find out until those episodes come.
Oh my God.
Oh man. We'll see. But yeah, like it's you can't help but feel bad for Taechan at this point, because it's like every girl that he's gone after has either just like liked someone else or just straight up just not seen him in that way at all.
Aww.
But man, I hope it just keeps happening though. It's such good content.
It's so good. And like I also feel bad for Miwako as well. Like it's not like she was kind of like giving him hints or leading him on. She's just trying to be nice with it, I guess. Like
yeah.
It didn't come to a point where it's like OG Aya levels where they're cuddling and nothing's going on, or like between that. It was just like Aya's being friendly and like she's just going with the flow. And I was like, oh no, like I could sympathize the way like why she left and everything when they saw that scene. Like she doesn't want to hurt Taechan at the end too. But in the end, the heart like desires, right? Like this is how she feels. She can't deny that.
True.
Yeah, you can't blame her for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't go about it in a scummy way like Hoji.
Exactly.
So, like,
yes.
You did not just call it.
Yo. Yo.
I don't know about that. I think he's just ignorant.
Yeah.
Thank you, ho. Yeah.
Okay.
It was funny when Daiki's like, oh, so OG's got a playboy side. And I'm like, yeah, I can agree with that. Maybe he was maybe he was hiding like a whole side of her personality the whole time. You know, some people choose to see the good sides of people. Well, in this one circumstance,
That's true.
I'm gonna say he a hoe.
Damn.
You know how like the show is like for what the live taping is, the only like I think they're 3 episodes away, so it feels like it's like a month away of whatever the real content, like what happens in the present of what Terrace House is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I feel like OG's dipping. Like I still think he's dipping at the 37th episode, because by that time, when they all watch that episode where he's like how he's acting, like how everyone just got like livid about him, it's just it's not gonna look good, or I don't know how he's gonna take it. Like that's just like 3 episodes he should be out. That's not good, man.
I mean, I wish I could change my prediction, but I think
you're way off.
Yeah, I said 10.
Where is it? Hold on.
I'm thinking 5 now.
Oh, okay. So you're saying episode 40, around there?
Yeah.
So OG leaves episode 37, says Jay. I say 38 and 45 for Cheska. So Cheska.
I am so off.
You gotta stay true to it though. You gotta stay confident.
So Jay, do you still think it's going to be episode 37?
I still think so. Like he should leave. Like it's better off to leave soon.
What episode are we on right now?
We're on 36.
36. Okay.
Should be leaving next.
So next episode, maybe I think that there's still drama to be brewed. So I think like this is the set. Like I said last week, the setup, then the fallout, and then peace out. And so I feel like that's the plot I'm more invested in. I'll be honest, like
In Aya and
in Aya and OG.
Really?
Like,
Still? Oh wow!
I want to see it resolved. I want to see Aya like be happy. She deserves happiness.
I feel like it's gonna be resolved after Terrace House. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like after, behind the cameras.
But what do you want from it? It's like, all right, they don't like each other, and like he's a scumbag. Like, what do you want from this ending? Like,
I want to see Hana call him out on his shit again. Like, I don't know.
That already
happened.
happened. Like, you just want to hurt the guy more at this point. You just want to villainize him at this point. Well, he already is a villain, but
it's like it's still left in a weird pseudo state where like I get like Aya's I don't want to say like she got shafted, but like I
think that you will get the closure that you want once he leaves. Because once he leaves, there's going to be that effect on the house. And it's gonna have an effect on all the members of the house when he leaves. So I feel like you'll get it then.
Mm-hmm.
Like it won't like. Yeah, just you'll get it then. Just
okay, yeah. Just to double back real quick, like Hana called him out on his shit previously, but what about the shit that he did in the movie room? I didn't like that. I did not like that.
I feel like that one doesn't need like.
He doesn't need to be called out on that.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm getting the vibe that you just want him like more negative vibes because you want him like punished in a sense. Like you want vengeance. It seems like your resolution is vengeance on OG. Because like you really don't like.
I want an apology. I want a legit like I'm sorry. Like I screwed up. Like I want him to like
of course.
That is.
But I don't think you're gonna get it because the guy thinks he didn't do anything wrong,
and that's what irks me.
Yeah, so that's why you want vengeance.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We figured it out. Yeah. I want an actual scene where he's like, I screwed up. I'm a bad person. I did something, or not a bad person, but I did something bad that inevitably hurt you, and I'm sorry for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see.
Wow, you're asking too much of OG.
I was gonna say, because like this could happen one of two ways. It could either be one, he does apologize and then he leaves, or he just doesn't leave, and then you're just found with that kind of open space. And but after everything that we've seen with a certain other guy, a certain other guy and a certain Sena, and how that ended, I don't know if I'd expect it, to be honest. I want it to happen, but I wouldn't set an expectation for it to happen because historically in the show, it hasn't really happened. So we'll see, though. We'll have to see. But I want to move on to just like the last set of scenes.
Yes, let's do it.
Then I do have some questions for you guys just about the episode in general. But we move on to the next day where Hana meets up for lunch with Taechan, and she asks him how he felt after watching the episode. And Taechan once again says that this stuff doesn't matter to him and he's still going to go after her. And that's when Hana tells Taechan that she's leaving the house. And we got a different kind of reaction out of Taechan than usual because Taechan showed that, he is a Terrace House vet by saying that he knew that she would say it soon. He could tell that the vibes were off. He knew that she was busy. Everything was happening. The stuff happened between Hana and Daiki, like that stuff's over already. So he knew that the day was going to come that she was going to leave. And then Taechan tells Hana that OG is leaving as well. And then we move over to the living room back at home where Daiki and Miwako kind of briefly talk about the episode. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't really remember what happened in that specific scene because I was distracted by the Alicia Keys being played in the background. So, like, do y'all remember what happened? Because I don't.
I can tell you. So, basically, Miwako was drying her hair. She looks so pretty doing it, just like, by the mirror, just like. then Daiki comes in. Oh, what you doing? Just drying my hair. And all of a sudden, Daiki comes up and brings up the situation. So that was a little bit weird yesterday, like the response, which was a very like I liked how Daiki approached it. Just like it happened. It is what it is. And Miwako is just like, yeah. But they both know the fact that Miwako is interested in Daiki. And it was like a scene of like how the panelists say it was like guilt, because they knew like if they were gonna try to do something together, it would be messy because of Taechan. Taechan is like the catalyst, not the catalyst, but like the thing that is stopping from technically from gaining more interest or building on whatever these two have. Because, you know, OG's holding down with his diamond hands with his bro code. And Miwako, unfortunately, just doesn't have any feelings for Taechan, but has feelings for Daiki. So it's
sorry,
like,
you said OG just now? Or you didn't say Daiki? You said, yeah, OG has diamond hands. You meant Daiki has diamond hands.
My bad.
Okay.
Tim, I'm so sorry.
The OG thing
Daiki
is really
has
hitting.
diamond hands and he will hold down until further on. But yeah, that's what really happened. It was just like, it was interesting because it felt like how the production was. They're like hinting maybe Daiki in a different situation would have went with further with Miwako, but this is the card that they're dealt with. Like they're just gonna have to deal with this, and it'll be messy if they proceed or not. But it was a very like it was tense, but very like this is what it is. Like, and they said let's not make it weird. Right, like they're trying to say, like, okay, let's make the best of it. Just be like, you know, try not to make things awkward between us. So I think that's what happened under Alicia Keys, which is great. I was loving it.
It was literally just like James singing "If I Ain't Got You" throughout the whole entire time we were watching it, and then me singing.
I sang one line.
Okay, fine.
The chorus when it came up.
You sang one line, and then I was singing the instrumental part. Because musicians, that's how we do it.
But yeah, it was a very interesting scene then, because I don't know, there's like, is there there's always the potential for things to kind of grow, but I don't know, because it's the triangle, and then like Daiki and Taechan are so tight. But I feel like Miwako is gonna keep trying, and she's just gonna keep trying until she gets like a direct answer out of Daiki, you know? So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, if they're both gonna be persistent in getting who they want, then this thing is gonna turn into a huge mess without like the intention of it.
The bigger mess, the better.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
I mean, reality TV wise, it's amazing.
Great TV.
It's great.
Cannot
TV.
deny it. It's great TV.
It is great TV.
Makes me want to watch more.
Oh,
I want to see a resolution.
There you go.
Guys. Side note. I don't know if we touched on it. You know, when Hana and Taechan were talking, I got a soft toe vibe from Taechan. I did not like it.
Oh,
what?
You know, and and like Hana and Taechan were talking, and Hana actually confronts him, saying, "Hey, I saw the episode. How are you doing?" And Taechan's like, "Oh, it doesn't faze me. I don't care."
I don't know if did he say it like that though?
Yeah, that's what I saw. It's like, regardless of what it is, he's still gonna approach it, which is great. But the way he responded to like Hana's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Oh, I don't care." Like, I don't know, when the mannerism of how he said it, I was like, he learned that from our surfer boy.
Well, okay, I will agree with Jay when like he did seem like he like actually doesn't care and getting that Masato like attitude, I guess. He literally said whatever. He's like, it's whatever, like, you know, like, I don't know.
He kind of discarded it, but like, come on. At this point, whatever this guy says about feelings, I don't know anymore, because he denies things. Then all of a sudden, he's going to make such an action the next day and be like, yo, you want yakisoba? You know what I mean? Like that, like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, like, shame on me. Because like at this point, like, dude, No, come on, man. We know who you are. We've seen you for 36 episodes.
I think it's just like it's all leading to like this overarching like story of Taechan trying to become a man. You know, so maybe this is him just trying to give a masculine answer and being like, oh yeah, like it doesn't faze me, it's fine. Like maybe he's just trying that and it just came out wrong. But I there's no way that this didn't affect Taechan in any way.
Oh, like, it did.
You can tell that as much as he says he doesn't care, that's a lie. He does care. Like, why would you be making yakisoba for this girl the next morning?
I think what Taechan wants in an ideal masculine man, I think he just needs to combine the two extremes. Because right now he has two extremes, like the very sensitive side of him and the quote unquote masculine side of him where he's acting very aggressive in a way. He just needs to find the middle and the balance of them too.
Oh my god, Joe, you guys remember in the scene where like when he said like, oh whatever, and then he's like, yeah, it's whatever. And then Hana's like, oh, look at you becoming a man. And he's like, oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. A masculine comment all of a sudden, wow, Taechan, you're so manly. Oh my god, yeah, like Cheska, you're right. He has to find that balance, and this is his way of like workshopping it, right? Like what feels right, and again, great TV because it's him growing up.
Tim, you good?
Oh yeah. No, it's like, I feel like he says it, like he says what he wants to feel. Everyone's telling him to be this and to be that, and so like, okay, well, I'm going to have to be a man. I'm going to have to be more masculine. And so like, what's the response here? And like, call back to like him trying to be like Masato, right? Like, well, yeah, it's whatever. Like I guess he's trying to mimic like the more masculine men he's been compared to the whole time. Masato, Daiki, like, what would they do? And I guess like, I mean, I did this growing up. Like, I said things that I wanted to be true. I was hurting, but I didn't want to care about it. So I'm going to say I don't care about it. Hopefully, if I say it, it'll make it true. It's not how it works. I learned that the hard way. And I guess Taechan will learn that the hard way. But like, yeah. Like, it's great TV. Jay said it too. It's great TV. Like, seeing his growing pains, like, I relate.
True.
Like, yeah.
It's a hero's journey. Yeah.
Like there's something very endearing of Taechan revealing his feelings and like you know, back then and even now, like the toxic masculinity is like about not showing your feelings, saying that everything is okay, but like everyone's human, like, so might as well just like spew out your feelings, be emotional. Like that's what I really appreciate about Taechan is he actually like doesn't care that people are going to hear about his feelings. Like if he wants to like expel his feelings, let him do it.
Well, he does care. That's why he's trying to hide it. I think the moment that he owns up to being an emotional being more than your masculine man is when he completes his circle, his arc.
Yeah. I just don't want him to lose that, like him expressing his feelings. Because if he does, then I'm going to be like, Taechan, no, I'm going to get so disappointed.
He will if like he keeps getting compared to other guys.
True.
Like the way the panel's doing. And could be a cultural thing, and I don't know, but like, yeah, it's not healthy to do that.
No, it's not.
And remember, guys, it's national television. The pressure of whatever's going on with these people, like they get the flack of it immediately. So it's just like, that's a whole nother level. Like I don't even like normal people don't get that, but Taechan, he has to deal with it.
So he gets the flack of it like weeks after. Like, he'll do something 3 weeks and then he'll get like messages or it'll blow up on media when the episode comes out 3 weeks later. He's like, I can't do anything about it now. Like, oh, that sucks.
Like, I'm going to quote this or like reference this reality show again, but like Drag Race, I feel like a lot of fans find these drag queens very endearing when they talk about their feelings on the show. Like, and it goes the same as like America's Got Talent, American Idol. Like, if they have a story that is emotional, and if these contestants are sharing their feelings on national TV, fans will grow to love them more. So that's why I was like, if Taechan doesn't do that, I feel like fans are not gonna like him.
True. Very true. Very true. Honestly, just like, shout out to Taechan, man, for being like being a sponge. He's just soaking up all the information he's been getting, but also just like for like at least trying at points to stay true to yourself. And like, you know, it's he's just learning. He's just learning as he goes. So he's making these mistakes, but it's because he just doesn't know. So he's making those mistakes as he learns, and he's just learning from them. That's what I'm trying to say. So
True.
Yeah, but that does bring us to the end of the episode. But before we go, I actually did want to have I had one question for you guys that I wanted you guys all to answer. And it is kind of backtracking a little bit and talking more about good old OG and his whole situation. But like the question that I had for you guys was, after seeing how OG's been like treating Aya in general, and just everything that we saw in this episode, and now learning that OG is planning to leave, like, is OG leaving like justified for him? Like, and to kind of like further like go like explain this question to you guys, is like, everyone this season has been there with the goal of doing something for their career, right? We got to see Rie further herself and do like her big show with AKB, and then she went to like live closer to her work. We saw Masato leave to try to further his surfing career, right? We saw Sena leave
after
because
developing.
She's done everything with her, like her show, and she left to potentially go to like France or Paris or the States or whatever, right? And we got to see all these people leaving for their career. But what has OG done since he's been in the house? Like, in my head, OG's only leaving because of the flack that he's getting in the house right now. Like, there's nothing towards him in his career, whether it be in pharmaceuticals or in modeling. We haven't really seen anything with him for that. And it's like, he's leaving, but why? Like, it's like, he's probably the first person in the house that is leaving for things that are not related to his work. This has purely been just like relationships for him. Like, it's really just been like emotionally for him. So it's like, is it justified for him to actually leave the house?
I thought he wasn't there for this career or anything. I thought he was just there for, relationships.
But like that's the thing. Like, nothing has, there's nothing that's been like redeeming for him, you know?
Oh, yeah, he's very unfulfilling character, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. Everyone else has like upped their ante in terms of character. Like, they've promoted themselves somehow, but like this guy, pretty stagnant. Yeah. And at that point, like, why would you stay though? Should I like put yourself up more? Like, the only thing I can think of is stay because you're gonna make your, like, at least say sorry, right? Then leave. But I don't even know if he's gonna do that. So yeah, it's a tragedy, if anything. He's just gonna leave. Like, he should leave, honestly.
Yeah.
Because like, there's nothing really else going on for his story of career or whatever. It's just like, can we just get another person? We need a breath of fresh air, and we need to see Aya smile more because I missed that.
I know, me too.
Yeah. So just like one thing that I noticed, especially after OG said that he was leaving, was that like, if you notice, ever since OG showed up, and all of the new housemates that have come ever since he's shown up, they've all gone with the goal of something non-work related. They're like the only ones who have gone for things non-work related. So it's like it's an interesting trend as we've like gone through this entire series of Terrace House. Like we're now 36 episodes in, and it's just an interesting trend. But yeah, like Chess, Tim, what do you think when it comes to like OG?
I mean, okay, the one thing that really stuck to my mind was I think the production team was trying to replace Shota with someone who is similar in personality. The difference between OG and Shota is that Shota is more endearing and like has a likable personality compared to OG. Because like if you think about it, their run on Terrace House is very stagnant. Like nothing really happened to them career-wise. But Shota had this likable personality that people like fell in love with. Like James, you fell in love with his personality.
Hey man. Yeah. I mean like, okay, with Shota, like he did have like I don't think he really like said it, but he did leave because he had a goal, right? He not just him getting married, but it was also him graduating.
Yeah.
Right. And getting that like big art job or whatever it is. Like so but there's nothing like that for OG at all.
Right.
I don't know, Tim.
No, I agree. He's not adding or contributing anything to the house. And like there's have been no endearing moments with him or any other character. His only thing was the possible romance with Aya, and that didn't work out. And, you know, he made an ass of himself. And rather than making anything worse, he's just like, all right, well, I already shit the bed. I'm a dip. Like, I think that's it. I think that's literally his one reason for leaving. I don't think he wants to try and make amends. I feel like maybe he's also leaving because he's got like a bunch of backlash for how he's gone about doing things. Yeah, and definitely looking forward for a breath of fresh air. We need someone new in the house, someone to mix things up, but also, yeah. Every other character who hasn't had like a prominent storyline, Shota, Momo, they've all played very strong supporting roles in like the people who do get more screen time. Momo has been like that confidant. Even now, like she's off the show, but she's still that confidant for Taechan.
Right.
And being that reassuring, like, you know, like that voice that like gives an added perspective, the woman's perspective to Taechan's like whole ordeal that you don't get from any other like character, really. So yeah, I just see OG as a character with no purpose and failed at the one thing that he could have offered.
Well, I think
not failed, but like I don't know, like it just backlashed really bad for him. I think it just put him in a really bad view of how he went about doing things.
I think at the beginning of the show, they all tried to like, you know, mix things up with professions, right? So the fact that he was a pharmacist / model was like, oh, that's a cool complimentary piece to the cast, right? But I know, like, James, you watched Terrace House, like, all those seasons. It's becoming, like, a trend where it's, like, unfortunately, later seasons, a lot of these people come in for exposure. And a lot of them just end up being, I do some gimmick, but really they're a model or an actor that tries to, like, big up their
promote that.
Following. Yeah, promotion.
I see.
But I think it was like that, you know, that was the first time I think maybe like maybe there was something like that OG was trying to do. Maybe he was promoting his his modeling in there, but really the show wanted to see like, hey, this is Terrace House. This is everyday people. Look, this pharmacist. Look at this. Like, you know, they're trying to like to say you could be in Terrace House too. They're trying to like promote that like this is reality TV show that's unscripted. Maybe that's why he was like put in.
I thought it was based on personality because like from what we were seeing was like once Masato left, we were like, oh, let's try to get an athlete. Daiki comes in. Right. And like even with the replacement of like Rie was Hana, and like they kind of probably from first impressions they seemed like they had similar personalities. And then with Seina, you got Miwako, both models. Right. So like that's what I was getting at. Like I think Terrace House, the production team at the time, they were like trying to follow a formula of the original 6.
Yeah, I can see that. Like at the end of the day, we don't really know because we don't work for Fuji TV or anything. Like we're just watching, right, sir? Sorry, but just to like
please sponsor us.
Oh no.
But just to take a step back and like Jay, as the two of us who have watched basically every series of Terrace House, like I've never had a problem with people being there purely just for exposure, because a lot of the people that do still go there, like they're still fulfilling in some sense of the way, right? Or at least most of the people, like they're fulfilling at the end of the day. Like when they leave, it's still fulfilling. But with OG, like once he leaves, like I don't think he was really fulfilling for anything. Like is OG like so far at least like the most like unfulfilling character to live in the house and then leave the house? Like, because to me it feels like he is.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think he's out of everyone. He's like, yeah, you're whatever you said. He's very unfulfilled. But I do disagree on, or maybe it's just because I know later seasons, I know like maybe 3 other people in Terrace House. I was like, why are they even there?
Oh, there are certainly there's
so
certainly
like
housemates that
so
are
with
like
that
that
kind
too.
of vibe, I'm like, can you just leave? Like this is not healthy. So like maybe I should just say, yeah, I'm getting OG vibes next time I feel like that again.
Yeah. Maybe like every series there's always that one, there's always that one that you're just like, why are you here?
Yeah,
There's no reason.
Like I know you guys, Tim and Cheska, don't watch the other Terrace House, but he gives me Kenny vibes.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, Kenny. Yeah, the guy
Gives me
in the
Kenny
orange
vibes,
jacket.
where there was a bunch of promise, and all of a sudden nothing happened. I thought it was like, oh, it's like him. So like I see very parallels with him. So I'm like, really? You don't really see that kind of like same thing with him? And this is like really the first time you ever felt it. But again, this would be the first time ever if I was ever watching Terrace House for the first time. Yeah, totally. I agree that.
Yeah. Big like why are you here vibes. Big Wes from Aloha State vibes.
That too.
Gosh.
And I didn't even watch it.
But yeah, just same vibes, just like why are you here? But yeah, like definitely unfulfilling. I don't like once OG leaves, I'm gonna be like, thank goodness. Like with Masato, it was different because we got some sort of closure, in the sense that like Seina was like, I'm out of here. But we're not getting that with OG. Like I just can't wait until this guy leaves.
Yeah, it's like weirdly he's still with the Seina thing. I feel like that's still fun. Like he's still butthurt about that.
Oh my god.
Like why though?
I don't know. We don't know. We could ask all these questions about OG, but at this point, I'm like, dude, just live your life. I hope you do the best, because at this point, I don't know how to read you, man.
True.
Yeah.
Very that.
Oh man. Well, that was quite the discussion we had there, guys. And yeah, this calls for the end of the episode. So we wanted to thank you guys for watching. But before we go, of course, this is another reminder to let you know that We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast, can be found on all podcasting platforms. That means it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the other places where you can find your podcast. But you can find everything that's related to that on our Anchor at anchor.fm/we-the-panel. And of course, you can also follow us on Instagram, where you could find everything that we're doing in relation to the episodes. I put content there every once in a while, which is cool. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to us to stay kept up on everything that we're talking about and everything that we're doing. And feel free to leave a comment talking about anything that we've talked about as well. You guys are 100% part of the conversation as well. And yeah, before we leave, of course, we do have socials. So starting with everyone's favorite Tim, Yo, you let the hair down today, bro. It's looking nice. It's looking nice.
It's something. It's wild and matted and yeah.
Yeah, but where can we find you on the internet, bud?
Oh, you can find me here at We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast, as well as my YouTube channel linked down below. My personal Insta also linked down below, and
Twitch.
Yes, I'm also sometimes on Twitch too. Also linked down below. Thanks.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And of course, we have our resident TikToker, Cheska, back in town, which is great. Where
Welcome
can we
back.
find you on the internet?
Oh, thank you. Where can you find me? Wait, now I remember. Okay, so you can find me on both Instagram and TikTok at Cheska Camille _. Why am I forgetting all of my socials out of nowhere?
Because
Hey,
it's a sign to get off of social media and get
Hey.
back to reality.
Whoa, Tim.
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey,
Whoa, I dig it, man. Because the government and money.
And the government money, yeah.
Oh man, the government locking us down in our homes and checking our cars. Anyway.
Oh,
Of course, we do have our favorite not so silver-haired fox, Jay, holding your beloved Pikachu. Where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me right here at We the Panel, Terrace House Podcast.
Is that just a thing?
You can find me at Twitch. You can find me at Twitch for jiggles. Description's down below. And yeah, my Instagram should be down there too. But yeah, you can find me here if you want to talk about Terrace House, because like this was I feel like this was one of the best episodes in terms of like there was a lot to talk about. I love this episode. Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, and James, how can we find you in the internet?
Oh yeah, you can find my Instagram, my YouTube, and all that kind of stuff down below. And yeah, you can follow me there if you want to talk Terrace House any and every season. If you want to talk Falcon and the Winter Soldier, hey, like I'm good for that too, man. I'm caught up.
Behind.
I'm watching it. Tim, yo, you gotta catch up, man. These episodes are getting crazy.
Sorry, I'm behind.
It's a short season too, man. Is next week's the finale? I don't
no,
know.
it can't be the finale.
No.
I'm not mentally
Yeah,
ready for that.
but
I'm
also
not ready
6 or
for
7
that.
I think the next episode's meant to be
I'm
like
mentally
60
ready for
minutes.
it to end.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we could talk about that. We could also talk about Invincible. Like I love that show. So.
Okay.
But yeah, just you can follow me there. And yeah, but that is it for socials. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. And from myself, James, Jay, Tim, and Cheska from We the Panel, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Sleep warmly.